Are you ready? Let's welcome one last time here in the Deerfield, RETHS Boys Varsity Football Team! All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we play the national anthem, let's stand and take a moment of silence in memory for the loved ones that we've lost in their fight against cancer. Now please rise and turn your attention to the flag near the scoreboard as the message board displays the names of the loved ones who have fought or continue to fight cancer as the ETHS Marching Band plays the national anthem. Now let's hear it one more time for your Wildcat football team, and let's cheer them on for victory. Let's go, Kits!
The record is 5-3, and then 2-6. Okay. Yep.
Good evening, Wildcat faithful. Tonight it's senior night here at Memorial Stadium. It's October 20th, 2017. And we just had a wonderful memoriam to Coach Elias George out there, who's a legend here in the Evanston Parks and frankly nationally for his wrestling and football prowess. I'm here with Coach Wool, and wonderful to have you here on senior night, Coach.
Thanks, Chris. Tonight is going to be a big night. If this is what it's supposed to be, a Wildcat victory, it will mean that the Evanston Wildcats have been to the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years. And that's a big, big stepping stone. And the next step is to make sure that they advance past the first round. So this is a big game tonight. If they win, they're guaranteed a playoff position. Big game last week against Glenbrook South, where they really ran up the score and lit it up offensively. Tonight, they're going to be looking for just a few big keys. Number one, the theme for the kids this year is to play football in November, and that's what Coach Buzz wants. Drew Dawkins is going to be the big key right now, and the kids won the coin toss and will be receiving.
Wonderful atmosphere here in Memorial Stadium as the terraces continue to fill in. Student body and parents alike, the local community coming in. 4 12-minute quarters in front of us. And the junior varsity just handled business before us, winning basically 62-14.
Wow.
And let's see if the
Conference
varsity
champs.
squad can handle the same business.
Yeah, they won the conference. Coach Buzz says tonight the keys are really to run the football on offense and no big plays on defense. That was his two keys tonight. And he says that he's really proud of these seniors. And he says that Dawkins is a 3-year varsity starter. And he said that that's a really kind of a tip-off to him and the career he's had here.
Awesome. And the opening kickoff goes out of the back of the end zone. The Wildcats are start at the 20-yard line.
Niles North have been having kind of a rough season this year. It's been made public they had to forfeit a couple games early actually in the middle of the season. And this should be an interesting bounce back. They played only, I think, like I said, 7 games. Oh.
And Dawkins takes it on a sort of a botched jet sweep there, and he gets around the edge, actually gains 14 yards.
Nice play by Dawkins, just fake handoff. Looked like he wasn't sure if he was going to hand it off or not, but he ended up keeping it. Nice first down play.
Wildcat first down on their own 32-yard line, 4 wide receiver shotgun formation. Now he's got a man set as a running back. Handoff up the gut, across the 35 to the 40, and he's going to make it just shy of midfield. Another first down for the Wildcats.
Quadre Nicholson is just going to be a name to be heard from in the next 2 years. He just plays downhill and does a nice job of finding the holes.
Just like that, a couple plays for the Wildcats, and they're approaching midfield. First minute of action in Evanston. 4 wide again, shotgun. Single back. And a fake little reverse, and he throws it out quick on a bear pass, and that's good for maybe 8.
Hunt just did a nice little, just a little bubble screen to set up a nice 5-yard, 6-yard pickup on the play. They're, they're moving the ball with pretty much ease here.
It should be that kind of night for the Wildcats.
And Niles North hasn't done many spectacular things this season. 2 wins on the year.
Fake handoff. Dawkins looks to throw,
nice
and down to the Viking 30-yard line.
Nice slant route. Burr, nice catch too with pretty decent coverage. Key tonight. Oh, go ahead.
First attempt for the Wildcats on the Vikings 30.
4 wide shotgun formation. We've seen this set up here for the Kits before. Halfback dive, and that stopped for no gain.
Nice play by the Vikings D.
Number 20, Quadre Nicholson. No gain. It is 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats.
Kid's doing a good job of mixing it up, pass and run here. It's Cancer Awareness Day today. Everybody's wearing their pink in the crowd. Niles North players also wearing pink socks too. Nice jet
Here's
sweep.
a reverse. Sort of jet sweep, and maybe he got 5 there.
Carry by number 4, Malik Ross. A gain of 5.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 5 here. Big 3rd down on this drive as Evanston's approaching the red zone.
Got to be impressed with Coach Buzz with the career he's had. He kind of revitalized the football program here, and if they win tonight, 5 of the last 6 years they're going to be playoff bound, which is pretty impressive.
Wildcats right up the gut again, and tons of daylight, and Nicholson's going to take it all the way. 25-yard touchdown run for Nicholson. 6-0 Wildcats.
So if we get the replay here, you'll see nice blocking, a good hole right up the gut here. The lead back 41 clears off the hole and Nicholson just follows right through. Arm tackles, breaks it through, and that's a nice play by, again, Nicholson. Great lead block by the halfback.
Excellent opening drive for the Wildcats, and here's the extra point. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it's good.
The kick is up, and the kick is good by number 9, Charlie Leland.
7-0 Wildcats. They have a 2-minute 45-second drive. Make it 47-second drive, and they take it down and punch it in for 7 here on senior night at Memorial Stadium. Great play selection there, Coach Wool, on that opening drive.
Absolutely. Again, you can't ask for a better, set of plays, and they mix it up, run, pass. And Nicholson, again, is the feature back, ran the ball perfectly. He's a very good downhill runner, and it's going to be a long night for the Viking defense. He is, one of the best young backs in this area. Now, Niles North, just to FYI, just a couple years ago, they had a really good running back who ended up going to Iowa. His name slips me, but they actually have been pretty decent in the last 3 or 4 years. This year and last year, they've really struggled, especially moving into the CSL South Division with Maine South and New Trier. And those gimme games against some of the CSL North are no longer there. So this is a new territory for them in regards to playing a top-to-bottom tough schedule.
Here's the kick, and it's taken short across the 35-yard line out to the 40, basically. A nice return for the Vikings.
Chris, another interesting point to make or point out here is Niles North is actually in most recent years, in the past 5 or 6 years, there's been a lot of Evanston kids who have moved into the Skokie area and now go to Niles North. So there's a little bit of a rivalry between Niles North and Evanston. I know Niles North's rival is Niles West, but they consider Evanston just a big rival as Niles West, considering you got a lot of Evanston kids that come here and go to Niles North.
With that said, Coach, we had some basketball players who made that move. Didn't they? Almost a botched double reverse here by the Vikings on their opening play, and they're going to lose 10 yards.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely right. There was a really good basketball player, Dillard. Lorenzo Dillard was an Evanston kid and actually transferred over to Niles North, where he had a pretty successful career, but a little bit of a rocky off-the-court situation. But there's a lot of Niles North kids that are originally from Evanston.
Second and forever for the Vikings. Let's see what they pull out of the playbook, and a little bear screen, and That'll get 5 of it back, but it'll be 3rd and 15 here on the Viking opening drive.
Coach Buzz indicated earlier in the scouting report, I talked to him earlier this afternoon, he's excited. He loves these seniors. They've really dedicated a lot. They've come out and really shown great teamwork. But he says they got to watch out for the big play, Chris. The big plays from Niles North. They have a couple big players here that they want to make sure that they contain.
Looks like the Vikings are going to use their first timeout. And we'll have about a minute break here on the field. Coach Wool, what a homecoming week it was last week, and now we enter this week. It's been an extraordinary couple weeks here in Evanston.
I heard you held the fort down great last week.
Oh, we had a blast, Coach. We missed you indeed, though. It wasn't the same without you, Coach.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Was that Yamo? Saw that. What's your thoughts? How did you like Yamo?
Hey, it was great. Yamo always does it. Evanston, they know how to do it, Coach.
60-year reunion, huh? Or anniversary, not a reunion. 60-year anniversary.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah, some great actors.
Here's the snap. Nobody home on the keep.
Ooh,
oh,
nice
my. He
hit.
took a shot as he got back to the original line of scrimmage. And that'll bring up a 4th down. As he went back to pass, there was nobody open. He got flushed out to the right. And he took a shot as he got some positive yardage. But Evanston does well defensively. And the Vikings really hurt on that 1st down botched play.
4th and 10. Back to receive the punt will be number 4.
Well, they got to make quick. They can make quick work of Niles North if they are doing what they should be doing. This game should have a running clock.
Oh, they're going to fake it, Coach, and they bring the pick off. He's taking it into the Viking territory, and the punter's faked out, and that's a touchdown. Unbelievable play. I can't believe North tried to do a fake.
Yeah, number 50 for Evanston. Just a beautiful, beautiful read. And I don't even think the Niles North players knew what was going on.
Nathan Romero got in there. Unbelievable play.
Nice hit by, what was that, 31. Beautiful play.
Charlie Martell laid out the quarterback.
Nice.
And just like that, it's 13-0 Wildcats.
Beautiful play. Again, like I said before, if the Wildcats handle their business, there should be a running clock. Niles North has really struggled this year.
Here's the snap, the hold, the kick is well up and good, and it's 14-0 Wildcats with 7:32 remaining in the 1st quarter.
Can't ask for a better start than this. Now, the one thing that you got to be leery of is that you start to fall asleep at the wheel and you let them come back in. We just can't do that right now. And I don't think the kids, they have too much experience to let that happen. Gosh, I remember when Drew Dawkins was a sophomore on the varsity and how he has matured as a leader. I see him down there talking to the players and letting them know, you know, this is our game, and that's what you need. That's great senior leadership.
Good stuff by this Evanston team. And just like that on senior night and Coach George Memorial night, it is 14-0 Wildcats.
Chris, I've been through a senior night with my son as a football player here, and it is a very, very special moment seeing your son play 4 years of football in the program. He played for Coach Buzz, and I got to tell you, he really enjoyed his experience. Said that it was a tremendous time here.
And here's a reverse on the kickoff return, and tried to find a seam through in the middle, and some poor tackling. There's a face mask, and he's still going out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. And Evanston may be celebrating that 14-0 a little extra long as they give up a bad return and a penalty.
Yeah, that's going to be 15 yards. Easily pulled the mask. The helmet was turned, and you could see that from up here.
That'll take the Vikings across midfield down to about Evanston's 42-yard line, I reckon.
Foul, face mask on the kicking team.
Niles North run a little trickery. They tried a fake punt, and they did a little bit of a reverse on the kickoff there. I expect this is the last game of the season for Niles North. They're not going to make the playoffs, so I think they're going to pull out all the stops tonight. So look for a lot of trickery, you know, and I think this is the only way that they potentially could be in this, which means that Evanston's got to be disciplined.
Indeed, Coach. We just saw them fake it from their own 40. Now they do a reverse on the kickoff, and just like that, they're down to Evanston's 39-yard line. Here's a draw up the middle, maybe a little bit of a halfback dive, rather, and that's good for 4.5.
Carried by number 34, Bruno Canam. Tackle made by number 98, James Gibson Scott.
Evanston's got to do what they can here to not concede any points on this drive. They certainly don't want to give the Vikings any life after really opening up this game with some overpowering offense.
Evanston running a 3-4 defense.
Here's a run. He got the edge, but not much more, and barely back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
Bruno Canine, tackled by number 6. Jerron Lamore.
6:30 remaining in the first quarter. Evanston 14, Niles North nothing.
You know, I know they're honoring Elias George, lived into his 90s. He was my sophomore football coach here at Evanston, and he was old school to the max. Great man.
I think you look up Webster's Old School, and they do have a line art drawing of Coach George. Here's a sweep, and rather make it an option, and it's a quarterback keeper, and that's good for about 10. That'll move the chains for the Vikings on a crucial 3rd down.
Nice play by the Vikings there. Got to be disciplined here today. This is going to be a test for the Wildcats to stay disciplined on D and avoid the, you know, misdirections and the trickery plays. Again, they're going to be pulling out everything they can. And why not? It's the last game of the year. You're not going into the playoffs. You might as well shoot for the moon.
Here's the snap. Makes it outside and stays on his feet inside the 20-yard line. Kanan maybe got 7 there, 6.5.
Tough runner. I mean, Kanan really runs downhill. Got to the outside and spun out of a tackle. He seems to be a very, very crafty runner.
He wears that 34 well.
Yes.
If you're going to go Bo Jackson, Earl Campbell, and Walter Payton on him.
Sweetness, yes, of course.
3 wide receivers, and here's the pitch to the right. Kanan found a little more daylight, and inside the Evanston 15 down to the 13, another first down.
Kanan really running hard again, just found the seam, a little quick pitch, and that translates into first down.
If you're a Viking fan, you've got to be happy with this response after they conceded 2 quick touchdowns to this Evanston team. There's some heart here, Coach, in the visitors.
Oh yeah, this is a big game for them. They circle Evanston on their schedule.
Here's a halfback dive again. Positive yardage for Kanan, maybe 5-6 yards. Evanston a little bit on their heels, maybe getting a little winded after this long drive.
2nd and 4.
Beautiful evening in Evanston, 70-degree night. It's October 20th. Again, a draw up the middle, halfback dive, and that's good inside the 5.
Like he's getting close.
He might get down on the 1-yard line,
yeah.
And that'll be 1st and goal at the 1.
Nice push up front by the Vikings. Again, in motion here, they're just going to hand it off on the replay here. And again, nice hold, follows his blockers, and a pickup of about 6 or 7 on the play. Very nicely done there. Got to hold them. Thought that this game was going to reel out of control, and right now, Niles North seems to be making a push to make this a game. I'm betting the house it's going to 34, Chris.
And
oh no!
Actually, it's the play fake. He faked himself out. The quarterback got lassoed around the 1. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Boy, they had him. They had him for a loss of about 5. Oh, the quarterback's coming up limping there.
No game.
Chapman, he really got harassed as he got around the edge there, but he made something happen.
Looks like he's hurt. Coming up limping there.
He's still in the game, Coach.
All right, I'm betting the house. It's going to 34.
This time you're right, and they wrapped him up, and it looks like he lost a yard.
Good job.
Wonderful gang tackle there by the Wildcats. Nothing doing, and now a vital 3rd and goal from the 4. Make it the 3.
Goal from the 4. Wildcat fans, make some noise.
Under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Out of the huddle come the Vikings. 4 wide receivers, 3 on the near side. Kanan in the backfield. Chapman ready to take the snap. Man in motion. Jet sweep. 9 tried to find a seam, and that's 4th down.
Oh, fumble.
Oh, and the ball's loose.
Fumble.
Carried by number 9, Savon Davis.
You got the field goal team coming in, Chris.
For a loss.
I would bet the house.
On the play to be 4th and 5.
They're going to give it to number 34.
No, I'm going to bet the house that they're going to see less than 10 passes today from Niles North.
4 field goal.
And the Vikings lining up for a 3-point attempt. Here's the snap. The hold, the kick.
It's good.
And it's good.
Nice play. Nice kick.
Kick is up, and the kick is good. Kick good by number 19.
Very successful drive for the visitors to take it downfield after a good kickoff return. But Evanston's wall stands tall and stops them inside the 5 and forces them for 3 points.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how the defensive game plan is going to be in regards to really forcing the quarterback from Niles North to throw the ball. I mean, he right now has not shown anything as far as any ability to pass out of the pocket. They're going to Kanan. If I'm Niles North, I'd try to run him as much as possible.
Opening quarter of action at Murney Lazier Field at Memorial Stadium, Evanston, Illinois. A brilliant evening on the North Shore. Thank you for being with us on this WKIT live stream.
Beautiful night. Mid-60s tonight. Nice cool breeze. Boy, when has it been this warm in October?
Indeed, Coach.
Now can the kids respond, and can they march it down the field like they did in the opening drive? Still only in the first quarter, 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go, right? Watch for...
Here's the kick, and it's well struck again, and that'll just go out of the back of the end zone.
Touchback on the kickoff. The
Nice.
Wildcats will begin their second offensive drive from their own 20.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 20-yard line. 2 minutes, 5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Our score is 14-3 in favor of the good guys. As Evanston won homecoming last week.
All right.
Here's the snap. 4 wide. Dawkins looks to pass, and a nice little in route.
Yeah, Drew Dawkins is just a very proficient quarterback. Just does the right things, makes the right plays, good decisions. Much different quarterback than the Niles North quarterback.
First down for the Wildcats out to their 33-yard line as they start the attack again. 4 wide, shotgun formation. Dawkins, handoff up the middle. And he breaks a few tackles. Nicholson out to the 42 and an 8-yard gain. And we've got a timeout on the field here with an injured player for the Vikings. Let's hope he's okay, as number 17 seems a little shook up. Here comes the medical crew. They'll make sure their student athlete is good.
While we're waiting, I'm going to put my good friend and neighbor here who's a big football fan, and this is Mr. Eddie. Can you tell us your name?
Eddie.
And what's your last name, Eddie?
Parrish.
How you doing, Eddie? And how old are you?
7.
7 years old. And what's your favorite sport?
Football.
Football, okay. And what position do you play in football? Kicker, right? Didn't you say you like to play kicker? Okay.
The kicker.
All right, good. And who's your favorite football team?
The Bears.
Okay,
Bears.
Good. The Bears. All right, nice. Well, Eddie, and how old? And what school do you go to, Eddie?
Dawes.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we thank you for being on the show today. You were really good. Anything you want to say? Hello to your grandma and grandpa. Say hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa.
Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa.
And hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being on the show, Eddie.
Hey, Eddie, before you go, can you tell us one of your favorite football players?
Which one of your favorite football players? Do you like, nice play. Do you like watching the Evanston Wildcats? Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. Sorry about that.
That's all right. He's a little nervous, but he's doing a great job, all right?
Yeah, no, great to have you here, man.
Thanks, Eddie, for coming up and for the show. Okay? And then we will see you next time, okay? All right? All right, go see you.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Eddie.
Eddie.
Thanks for being with us.
Good.
All right, we've got about a minute left in the action. A future Wild kid there. Be careful. He's going to be kicking 70-yard field goals in about 8 years. Big play for the Wildcats. Down deep into the Viking territory, down to about the 25-yard line. Evanston moving the ball with authority again.
And that'll be enough gain for another Wildcat. First down.
What a great kid. This is what high school football is all about. You get young kids who want to. I remember as a little kid watching my dad coach at Farragut and wanting to go out on the field.
No, that's great stuff. Lifetime memories, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Dawkins, shotgun formation, 3 wide. And almost had a false start there, but no call. And Nicholson will get the off tackle, and maybe he got about 3.
Nicholson, again, just finds the crease. Looks like there's no gain.
That'll be the last play of the first quarter, and after 12 minutes of play, it's our Wildcats 14 and the Vikings 3.
And that'll be in the first quarter.
Nice job by Evanston at this point. They did a really good job of just setting the tempo and the tone early on.
Turn your attention to the 30-yard line at the north side of the field.
Check it out there. We've got our varsity soccer team down on the field.
Is standing with the boys soccer team. Led by head coach Ron Scalise, the Wildcats have an overall record of 13-4-4. This past Tuesday, the kids beat Prospect 7-2 to advance to the IHSA Regional Championship versus Loyola tomorrow, right here at Lazier Field at 1 p.m. Admission is $5 for everyone, as this is an IHSA playoff event. Come back to Lazier Field tomorrow to cheer on your Wild Kid Boys soccer team. Give it up for the boys soccer team.
The boys soccer team will be here tomorrow, facing off against Loyola.
Yep, for the regional championship. Coach Kaliks does a great job here. Just a phenomenal job. He always has his team in contention. Had a tough one this earlier in the year, and lost to New Trier 1-0. And New Trier is a very good soccer team. They're going to have to beat them again, and I think that will be pretty much a big thing for them. They've already faced them one time. I think that gives them the advantage the second time around.
Tough to beat a team twice in 1 year, Coach.
Yes, absolutely.
Evanston driving again, 4 wide, pressure up the middle. Dawkins is flushed out of the pocket to the near side.
Nice play.
And a nifty move, and he took a busted play and maybe got 7 yards.
Great play by Dawkins by escaping the pocket. If you look on the replay here, he rolls to his left, avoids a tackle right there. His brother, Trey, blocked an incoming rusher, and then he freezes the defender, the outside linebacker, and picks up an extra couple yards on that. Very nice play. That's the dual threat that you're looking for out of Drew Dawkins.
Incredible player, Coach. Evanston threatening again in the Viking red zone. Man in motion. And Nicholson gets it on a wonderful play call, and he's going to walk into the end zone untouched. Beautiful. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Wow, nice play.
Perfectly executed run by Nicholson as he took it right up the middle. Oh my, and a cut back against the grain, and every block lined up perfectly for him. And across the goal line he went. 6 more points for the Wildcats, and with the extra point, it'll make it 21-3.
Nicholson didn't even get touched on that play. Credit to his blocking and also reading the hole.
Here's the snap, the hold, the kick. It's good.
Extra point is up and good by number 9, Charlie Linden. And with 11:45 to go on that.
And first 15 seconds of the second quarter, Evanston strikes again. And they increase their lead to 18, 21-3.
Again, we have a lot of things going on tonight. Senior night, potentially the last home game. We hope not. But the other thing that is, again, we were talking about Elias George. Older brother Bill George played for the Chicago Bears. And again, I was coached by Elias. And again, we were talking about it earlier. What a great coach, what a great motivator, and an old school guy. Just didn't take much, you know, and he grew up in tough times, and he just really motivated you to be your best.
Extraordinary human, Coach.
Wrestling coach, did a nice job building up a great wrestling program here at Evanston. Had a number of wrestlers that went on to win the state championship.
Straight legend, Coach Wolf.
Yes, absolutely, and is in the Hall of Fame on the wall at Evanston High School. Really a special coach, and well-deserved and be honored.
Congratulations, Coach George.
You got to get that. Yeah, it's a live ball.
Fielded at the 1, the Vikings with a bit of miscommunication, and they get it across the 20 to the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Let's see what they can do here on this third offensive possession. Yeah. Try to fake punt on their first offensive possession from their own 40 and proceeded to go for pick 6.
I want to make sure that this kid makes his mouth.
Oh, Jesus. 21-3 here, Wildcats. Let's see if the Vikings take to the air. 5 wide receivers. And it's a pitch. 34 gets called
nice
again, and good pursuit by the Wildcats. Maybe got a yard, Coach.
Kanan again going right back to him. I would. They really used him effectively last time, but the kids, you know, you got to start loading up the box, and I think that's what they're starting to do right now. They're going to force Caldwell to pass, and that's what I would do.
Stack up that tackle box and just force him to put the ball in the air. That sounds like a good plan from Coach Wool. Let's see just what they do. 4 wide, though.
They got a new quarterback in, by the way. The other quarterback is hurt. Force this kid to really see what he can do and throw the ball.
And a short throw on a button hook, and it's
nice
complete.
Play. Nice play.
Wonderful play by the Vikings, and that'll move the chains. First down out to the 35-yard line.
Nick Matthew to number 14. Chris Regine for a Vikings first down.
Here's the snap, pitch to the left. 34 found the edge.
Wow, nice
and that's
run.
good for about 10 yards, maybe 11. Another first down for the Vikings as they approach midfield.
Kanan running the ball very hard. He cuts the corner and made a nice pickup of about 10 yards on that play.
First and 10 for the Vikings. .25 remaining in the second quarter. The Vikings looking to respond for the Wildcats touchdown. And a pitch. Good penetration by Evanston. That's going to lose 5 yards as 3 Wildcats met at the runner and took him down.
Yeah, I'd make that quarterback throw the ball. Second string quarterback right now for Niles North. And Kanan seems to be running effectively. I just spy him the whole game.
Second and 13, make it 14 maybe for the Vikings.
Make the quarterback beat you, Chris.
Three wide, here's the snap. He's going to look to the near side again. Oh, and well read.
Wow, that was almost
by the Wildcat defense. Ray Ridge got up there quickly and got an arm out and batted it down.
Pass was deflected by number 7, Ray Ridge.
Nice read by the outside linebacker there. Almost had an interception, and he had nobody in front of him if he got it.
Here are the Vikings to the line of scrimmage, 4 wide. And the snap, he's going to throw it.
Nice throw.
A little short flat, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 4th and 10. Good stop by the Wildcat defense as both punting units come on the field.
Fourth and 10.
The Vikings going to do another fake, Coach?
I hope not. The results were not very productive last time.
Here's the snap. They're kicking this one away, and it's fair. Takes a. Oh, it looks like it hit an Evanston player. Is that a loose ball? And and a nice play by Evanston to retain possession. Malik Ross was there. And as that would look like a loose ball, it might have hit a leg.
Yeah, it hit him. I don't know if we got a. Mr. Jenkins, you got a replay on that one? No. Okay. Yeah, it looked like it might have hit Malik Jenkins in the back, and you got to be careful. One of the things that I know during punts or kickoffs, specifically for punts, if the ball is near the intended receiver, or punt returner, the punt returner is supposed to call out poison, and that means the ball is near and you got to run away from it so that it doesn't hit you.
Sometimes you just don't know which way to run, though, Coach.
Yeah, that's true.
Evanston starting their attack from the 20, and a nice run up the gut by number 22.
Douglas, right?
Make that Cameron Powell. Good for about 6 or 7 there.
Miles Davis, a gain of 73.
Evanston looking to score again on this drive as we approach 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Our score here 21-3 in favor of the orange and blue.
Good way to cap off this second quarter is eat some clock and punch it in from here.
4 wide for the kids. Shotgun formation. And it's going up the gut again. Powell with tons of daylight, but that's a fumble. And that's going to be Viking football as he took a shot and he coughed it up.
Yeah, it was a nice hit by the defensive back from Niles North. They really hit him hard, hit him right where the ball was. So watch this play. Nice, clear opening by the offensive line. Just a little trap play. And goes right up the middle, and he loses control of it. I thought that the ground might have caused it, but
that ball looked out to me, Coach.
No, but on the replay, clearly it was out. No doubt about it. Nice hit.
First down for the Vikings.
And let's be real about this. If Niles North punches this in right now, it's really, a 2-score game.
It would be, yeah, indeed, it would be, Coach. Looks like he's going long, and he got a man over the top. That could be offensive PI.
Oh, wow, that looked like he pushed off.
Oh, wow,
Big
they're going to
time.
give it to him. First down to the Evanston 5-yard line.
That looked like a
Malik
big-time
Ross
push-off.
got pushed over.
Yeah, big-time push-off. Boy,
like we didn't see it.
Yeah. Boy, that was 2 hands in the back. 2 hands in the back, and if you look on the replay, he literally pushed down the D-back. Surprised that the back judge didn't see that at all.
He was looking right at him, Coach.
Wow.
First down for the Vikings. Big penalty, or big no penalty. And here's 34 right up the gut.
Touchdown.
And and we might have a holding, though, as we see the flag come out from the umpire. Let's see what the call is, and that looks like a holding. That area of the flag.
Yep.
And it will be. The Vikings will get backed up, and this is a very promising penalty for the Wild Kids.
Well, if there was ever a statement where they owed us one, it was right there. Because that receiver from Niles North clearly did a 2-hand push in the back of the D-back. And that should have been an interception, really. So that pushes them out of the... Got to watch out for 34 again. This number 7 who's come in as a backup has done a nice job.
First and goal again from the 15. And
another push off again.
Wow. And that
boy, they are
not
really
enough.
And Eddie Conley on the sideline is beside himself, yelling at the officials, saying the same things we are, that those receivers from Niles North are using their hands to get themselves open.
Competitive edge, Coach.
Absolutely. But
everybody's fighting for the ball, but you got to officiate the game correctly. It certainly looked like a penalty.
Yeah.
For offensive pass interference. Nonetheless, second and goal from the 15. Here come the Vikings. 4 wide, man in motion. The snap, pitch, 34, met at the line of scrimmage, and a good hit. He maybe got 3.
Kanan, again, a hard runner, took on the initial hit, and then again gave another 2 or 3 yards on the play.
It'll be 3rd and goal from the 12.
Big play for the Wild Kids, as you got to figure the Vikings will kick the field goal again if they're stopped here. 3rd and goal from the 12. 5 wide this time. Empty backfield, and we got a timeout for the Wild Kids. The defense didn't like what they saw there. And the first time we saw them in 5 wide, and the Wild Kids will take a timeout and talk about it. What do you think about that, Coach?
Well, they sent Kanan out. Usually Kanan's been in the backfield as a really maybe an option to hand it off for a quick pitch. This time he was split out on the wide side, so it was an empty backfield. And I think that's the first time that they saw that set. And it confused the defensive coordinator, and rightly so, call timeout. You know what? Keep them at 3 points. Don't give them anything easy. And right now, Niles North is going to, let's see what they do to adjust.
Niles North has certainly come in here and given Evanston a harder fought half than I think the Wildcats were expecting. And as we have approached 7 minutes rather remaining in the half, we have a big third down. It looks like the Vikings are going to keep the same formation, 5 wide.
You know, the other thing is that you just don't want to give them momentum coming into the half either.
Here's the snap. We got a false start, or rather a procedure. It didn't look like North was set to me, Coach.
Yeah, the back judge threw the flag, and that usually means that looks like they're counting how many men on the field. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Evanston
10, 11, 12.
did have 12 men on the field.
Yep.
And that's a big play. A big penalty is now that'll make it 3rd and goal from the 7.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. You call a timeout on defense,
and you come out with 12 guys.
12 guys. Yeah, that's not very good. That's not what you want to see after a timeout. So that gives them 5 yards without doing anything. And right now, if you're the Kits, you got to be kicking yourself. That's not a play that you want to have, or penalty that you want to have leading into the second half.
I think they hand it off here again, Coach.
Yeah.
And 34 will get it, and a
Touchdown.
halfback dive, and whoa, basically he barreled through that Evanston defense, and that's a touchdown for the Vikings. And just like that, in a game where the Wildcats were actually talking about slaughter rule, it's about to be 21-10.
Yep. You just let a team off the carpet.
Jenny's Cupcakes is now here. Go get your cupcakes.
And a big response by the Vikings as they take it the length of the field after Evanston's score. And here's the extra point.
Nice run by Kanan again. If you're betting, man, you're betting the house on him down near the goal line. He's a great red zone runner, and it seems to me that he's got. Looks like there's an injury.
Evanston's got a player shook up, as it looks like Lamore
he
got hurt on that last play, and he's just getting a little bit slow to get off the field.
Yeah, he tried tackling a Kanan, and I think Kanan got the better of the deal.
Kanan's been barreling over people today.
Like you said, anytime you're wearing number 34, you got to be something special.
Here's the extra point, the snap, the hold, the kick. And whoa, Evanston was in there.
No good.
But the kick is no good. Evanston had penetration, and that might have freaked out the holder and the kicker just a little bit, and the kick is wide. 7:09 remaining in the first half. Evanston 21, Niles North 9. What half you got the other stuff going on? Did he?
Try Jay's Cupcake today.
He's up.
You can locate Jay's Cupcake near the entrance of the Deer Field.
Oh, he is? Police is coming up?
And now from your sponsors, North Shore University Health Systems.
Nice crowd tonight, Chris. Very nice crowd. Beautiful night for football. And you can't beat the atmosphere for senior night.
Great stuff, Coach.
What's next? We're helping you be ready for what's next. American Family Insurance. Want to stay with Team Driver? Consider the award-winning Team Safe Driver program with American Family Insurance.
Playoff matchups will be coming out on Sunday, and we'll see. Hopefully the Kits get a chance to. Oh.
Here's the onside kick. They play it short, and Evanston executes the coverage well.
No, I was just going to say that it wouldn't surprise me if they did that.
Gruner with the recovery. We saw him playing excellent defense last week, and now he makes a wonderful special teams play here.
Chris, you can't let these guys off the mat. Right now, Niles North has life, and you really got to put the last nail in the coffin right now. Don't give them any hope. I think they have it right now. They know they can run with Kanaan.
Fake to Ross, and Dawkins is going to go long, and
keep running.
Oh my, he stopped running his route as Hunt started to push back a little bit, and if he had just kept running, sprinting down the field, he might have caught that. I like that play call, Coach. He had his man open, and I like you got to go down the field sometime. You can't just run these short little guys every time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Nice arm by Dawkins, and if you're Hunt, you just got to keep running.
Really good play by Dawkins, though, as the pressure was coming, and he stepped up in the pocket to avoid it. As a play like that takes a little bit longer to develop, Dawkins helped it happen, but just couldn't connect with Hunt. Wildcats, 3 wide, up the middle, they're gonna go again. And a wonderful play, and that'll get them 10 yards and a first down as Nicholson's good for another solid run.
Nicholson again, just great downhill runner.
Offensive line has done well to push him downhill indeed. Across midfield, the Wildcats are. Dawkins with Nicholson in the backfield, man in motion. Nicholson's going to get it on an off tackle, and a missed tackle by the Vikings will give him 6 or 7.
A lot of misdirection plays going on by the Kits.
And it seems like the Vikings are having a little bit of a difficulty with that as the Wildcats are pulling offensive linemen and really connecting with blocks.
Now, is it me or is Axelrod, is he playing tonight?
We haven't seen his number called yet, Coach. But I don't know if that doesn't mean he's not out there. Here's the snap. Oh, and almost picked off as Dawkins was hurried there.
Axelrod is number 47. I do not even see him in uniform. Right?
37, Coach.
37, my fault.
No, all good.
Yeah, but I haven't seen 37 either.
No, neither have I.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can see him standing on the sidelines over here, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's the reason why I say that, he's
usually a top target.
Yes, absolutely.
Third down, big third down for the Kids. Make it 3rd and 5 from the Viking 43-yard line. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Dawkins, quarterback draw, and there's daylight. It looked like he's going to be a little short, Coach. Let's see what they mark him.
Right at the first down marker.
That's a generous spot, Coach. Now he marks him back. That looks like about a good, where he went down. He's going to look a little shy. And it's going to be 4th and 1, Coach.
You got to go for it.
Yeah, at this point, from the Vikings 39-yard line, this is a safe go-for-it place. And as the clock continues to tick, we approach 5 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the half. Our score is a little bit tighter here than anticipated, 21-9 in favor of the Wildcats.
Give it to Nicholson.
Here's the snap. Dawkins to Nicholson, and he stood up.
Yeah, he's got it.
I don't think he got it. It depends on what spot they go with.
Well, if it's closest to the near sideline here, it looks like he got it.
The ref on the near side looks like he's got it, but the ref on the other side looks like, yeah, Coach, it's a turnover, and that'll be the Viking ball. That's a huge stop, Coach.
Yeah, that was. Coach Buzz is upset because the near side lines judge looked like he initially got the first down, and then the far sideline judge set it up somewhere else, and that's what Buzz is arguing about, and rightly so.
Coach, he looked short to me, if I have to be honest, which I will be indeed. He didn't look like he got it. Here's the snap. And the Vikings looking to take immediate advantage, and Try to go over the top on a 30-yard bomb, but
Boy, this 7 guy's got a nice arm. I'm surprised.
Incomplete pass by number 7.
he looks like he could certainly be the starter.
2nd and 10.
And that's Jonathan Negron. Promising play from these Vikings. Let's see if they can get down the field and put up another field goal at least.
Got to hold them. This is big. They score here, and this is anybody's ball game. And what a tough
a nifty
thing.
play, and a little play fake to 34 up the middle and a pitch to the left. And Evanston does well, as they only got about 5, as a play like that could usually go for big yardage.
Yeah, I'm looking out here, and I'm trying to find number 37. That's a big loss if Axelrod is not playing tonight. That's one of your leading defensive players. He's a linebacker, and
I see him down there, Coach. He's not dressed. He's got his jersey on with a pink hat. He's about the 46-yard line.
Oh, yep, you're right. I see it. You're right. I wonder what's going on with that.
Let's wish him the best, Coach. Let's hope he's okay. Here's a quick in by the Vikings and across midfield and a first down as the clock ticks. 4:30 to play in the half, and the Vikings continue to look good against this Evanston defense. Down by 12 points here, approaching the final 4 minutes of the half.
Yeah, one thing that we were told early on, in fact, this is Coach George, Elias George used to say, never underestimate your opponent. And you just hope that they didn't do that with Niles North, knowing that they had 2 wins.
And they were a drama-filled team this year. Indeed, here's the snap, 34 up the middle, and hard running, good for 5 is Kanan again.
Kanan, again, everything is forward, downhill, and it's giving them life in a lot of different ways because, you know, they can count on him picking up big yards.
No, he's been their go-to guy in the half, and truthfully, Evanston hasn't had a whole lot of success in shutting him down. 3 minutes, 35 seconds to play in the half. 2nd and 6 for the Vikings. To the air on a little down screen, and geez, it's almost picked off as just not accurate enough.
Downfield,
now
yeah, that's
got
a penalty
flag.
on Niles North.
Illegal offensive lineman downfield.
Yeah.
As the officials talk about it.
Yeah, 92 was setting up for the screen and was blocking, and the ball was well overthrown, which means that
looks like pass interference, Coach. As it did look like he was too far downfield, though, as well. The official just gave the push. And let's see what they mark off.
Yeah, if he's not an eligible receiver, 10 yards on that, right?
Indeed, the referee signals pass interference on the offense.
That looks like 15 yards. Whoa.
To the 42-yard line. Remain 3rd down.
Indeed, that's a personal foul. And 3rd and forever here for the Vikings.
That was a 15-yarder. Wow.
3rd and 21. And the Vikings will take a timeout, it looks like. Or rather, the officials are going to talk out the actual penalty, maybe. As quite possibly they marked off 5 many 2-yard. Nope. Everything looks okay. 2nd down, rather. Then 3rd down. No loss of down on that previous play. So it'll be 2nd and 21 for the Vikings on their own 42-yard line. 3:23 to play in the half. 5 wide, the snap. Pressure up the middle. Forced. Oh, over the top. He's got his man. And it's picked off. Well read by the kids.
Nice place by Malik Ross. Come on, cut through.
Bertrand with the pick.
Bertrand, beautiful play.
Excellent defensive work by this Wildcat side as the Vikings were threatening. taking away momentum from this Evanston side, and Evanston just got it back.
Wow, that was a great interception by Bertrand.
Perfectly read, Coach. It looked like it was going to be a completed pass, and he parried himself into position and met the ball at its highest point.
You got 3 minutes and 11 seconds right now, Chris, and you really got to make sure that you're being efficient, but yet smart.
Dawkins tried a little option there, and well played by Wildcats there. Good for 12 yards.
Stops the clock to move the chains. Punch it in and don't give Niles North a chance to get it back. That would be the most ideal situation.
Hurry up offense for the Wildcats.
Nice play.
Nicholson, he's going to be wrapped up though, only good for a couple. Under 3 minutes now in the half. Our score 21-9. As Evanston jumped out to a 14-point lead, but the Niles North Vikings have done everything to keep it close. Here's the quick snap. Dawkins. Oh,
Nice
he's got his
play.
man and across midfield and a first down for
play.
Evanston.
Beautiful play. Little out pattern leads to first down, and then they stop the clock. Got 2 timeouts left, Chris. You can still use the middle of the field. Plenty of time left. Great play by Dawkins. Again, Drew Dawkins and Trey Dawkins, the 3 guys, those 2 guys have been 3-year varsity players, and this is their moment to shine.
Here's the snap, quarterback draw, and tons of daylight on the near side, and another first down, and that'll stop the clock down to the Viking 34.
Nice play. Dawkins got out of bounds, stops the clock.
Evanston stays with the hurry-up offense as we're under 2.5 minutes to play. Dawkins with a quick throw. Malik Ross.
Oh, nice play by Ross.
On his feet, he's gonna go for 6. Touchdown, Wildcats!
Beautiful play.
Excellent balance and dexterity there by Malik Ross as he caught the button hook and was badgered around, but kept on his feet and spun towards the goal line and ran it in. Here's the replay.
Oh, wrong replay.
Still an excellent replay there of Dawkins' play to set up the big play.
Great play by Ross. Spun out of a nice tackle and then just took it for pay dirt.
Oh, a high snap, but the well held, and he got it down, and the
Nice
kick is up
job.
and good.
Beautiful play by Ross, though. That was, and Dawkins really has done a nice job in regards to just making the right plays. Really done a nice job.
Wonderful football from our Evanston Wildcats, Coach.
Yes, offensively has been a very, you can't ask for a more productive game, and they're on pace for 56 points right now, Coach.
Again, fans, if you have not had a Jay's Cupcake,
Now again, be careful for some trickery on the kickoff here, Chris. They've had a number of, again, they've pitched it, they've done reverses twice, they've tried a fake punt, an onside kick, a lot of different things going on here. If you're Evanston, you got to make sure you're disciplined, you run your lanes, and you're careful for any kind of misdirection or trick plays here. They've done every kickoff return, there's always been either a fake handoff or a reverse here. So let's see what happens here. If I'm Evanston, I squib kick it. Wind is blowing south to north. Let's see what happens here. Oh, nice kick.
Out of the back of the end zone, and the Vikings will start at their own 20-yard line.
Nice wind going, like I said, blowing north. Flag in the north end zone. You can see he's got the American flag is blowing. Beautiful night for football.
Absolutely perfect, Coach. The Vikings have a lot of time here. If they can execute a few plays, they could certainly march down the field. 2 minutes, 18 seconds to play in the first half. Evanston 28, Niles North 9. 4 wide, and here's the reverse. Evanston caught a little flat-footed. That's going to go for positive yards. Yeah, that's good for about 13 out across the 30-yard line.
Again, look out for the trickery. Lots of trickery. I think, again, there's nothing that will not surprise me tonight, Chris.
Two minutes to play in the half. Here's Jonathan under center. And it looks like we'll take a timeout as the Vikings look to get things straight. 1:51 to play in the second quarter. It's been all Evanston here, even though Niles North has made it close.
70 degrees right now. And almost 9 o'clock. Beautiful night. The other thing, you got to be aware of this, is that you want to have momentum going into the playoffs. Chris, there's a big thing if you come in and you squeak out a victory against a 2-win team as opposed to really kind of, you know, stamping a solid win. That's what you want going into your playoff.
As some coaches would say, a signature victory.
Yes.
Here's the snap. Jonathan rolling. And he's overthrown his man on the near side. And that'll bring up second down.
Second down for the Vikings.
Boy, from my own perspective, I hope Axelrod is ready for the playoffs, because he is a valuable piece to this team.
Second and 10 for the Vikings. And again, Kanan finding room and outside, out to midfield and out of bounds. And again, daylight for number 34.
Wow. What a nice run.
Coach, I got to be honest, I would just keep handing it to number 34.
Yeah.
And maybe every third play you hand it to a different guy to give him a little rest.
Right.
But they have not been able to stop him yet. And they go to the air, and we've got a flag on the field. As again, it looks like it might be a false start. It is. Yep. And that'll back up the Vikings 5 yards. And with 1:38 to play in the first half, 2 steps forward and 1 step back here for the visitors. It'll be 1st and 15 from their own 44-yard line.
Don't want to give up any points leading into the second half at this point.
4 wide, 3 on the near side. Shotgun for Jonathan. He's got 34 with him. Here's the snap. And a play fake. Good for about 7 or 8 yards back across the 50-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and maybe 7.
A gain of about 7, it'll be 2nd and 8. 1:32 to go in the half.
To the line of scrimmage, 4 wide again. Jonathan, shotgun. Throwing to that far side. Oh, and well defended. Evanston was there, but 14 couldn't hang on as it looked like it hit him right in the hands.
3rd down. Last 3rd down play, the Vikings really hit pay dirt with that long pass in the corner on the post route.
3rd and 8, 4 wide. Jonathan shotgun. Kanan with him. The snap. To the air it comes. Flushed out of the pocket. Oh, and well played by the offensive lineman. There's a little daylight on the reverse, and now we've got a flag, as it looks like we'll have maybe either a holding or a personal foul against the Vikings. Let's see what the call is. The referee talk it over here with his associate.
Looked like a personal foul.
A player was down on the ground, and while he was down, he got hammered again. With 1:14 to play in the half. Illegal use of the hands against the Vikings.
Penalties on the offense.
As again, the officials try to figure out how much to mark off. The Vikings go backwards again.
Illegal block. By the offense.
Illegal use of the hands.
Evanston's electing to accept the penalty. Timeout, Evanston.
Smart play by Evanston.
4th and long for the Vikings.
Send them back. They're going to go for the
football programs that are here in attendance today. As their seasons are coming to an end and they're moving into the playoffs. Best of luck to all.
And a timeout on the field. Both teams will talk it over. And Evanston, of course, needing a victory tonight for playoff qualification as they look to get a quality draw against a side that'll be better for them than some other side that might be a high roller.
Well, they're going to be in the side where Loyola and Maine South, and that's a tough side to be on, no matter what. Those two teams have won the state championship the last 2 years, respectively. Maine South actually knocking off Loyola. And those two teams are always traditional powers at this point. But Evanston's faced Maine South. They got their heads handed to them early in the season, you know, and they're a different team now. Hopefully they won't get a chance to see them until later on down the line.
Jonathan, a little screen pass to Kanan, but that's read really well by the Wildcats, and that'll bring up 4th and forever. As Evanston will take a timeout, stop the clock with 1:09 remaining in the half.
Now, was that their last timeout? I'm not quite clear on why they called the timeout before that, since the clock had stopped because of the penalty.
I'm not sure either, Coach. I think it had something to do with the play clock running down, and they didn't have the proper unit on the field if they were going to try to be receiving a punt.
Yeah, it was just the reason why I was saying that was a 3rd down that they called the timeout on.
Who will win Blackhawks tickets? Who will have a very
Well, you got plenty of time, and the way that the offense has been going and the way Dawkins has been really picking the Niles North Vikings apart, and especially running those out patterns, he's been doing an excellent job of stopping the clock. You got to watch out for the fake. I doubt they'll do it here.
Here's
nice
the
kick.
snap and a decent kick. Good hang time, but it takes an Evanston bounce out across the 30 to the 32-yard line, and good starting field position for the Evanston Wildcats.
3-yard line for Evanston. It'll be first down, Evanston from their own 33 with 59.5 seconds to go in the half.
Want to get a little, be smart if you're the kids. Don't want to risk something where you're going to end up having a turnover on a silly play. But I think these first 2 plays are going to be critical. See what Dawkins does and what the offensive coordinator, Buzz, does. Buzz is their O coordinator. He does a nice job. Had 50-plus points last week against a solid GBS team. And let's see what he comes up with here. My guess is you're going to look for the out patterns so that they can get out of bounds and stop the clock. Watch for the blitz.
Dawkins back to pass, and the pressure comes.
Smart play.
Coach, in my opinion, I think you should just run it up the gut here a few times as you're up by 19, and you don't want to have a bad error and maybe turn it over here. This is certainly to take a 19-point lead into the half is not a bad thing. 55 seconds to play in the second quarter, 28-9 in favor of the Wildcats. Second down from their own 33. Here's the snap, it's low, Dawkins does well, and an out pattern isn't accurate enough, and that'll bring up third down.
All right, now you're in a position. This is a peculiar position to be in, Chris. You got 3rd and 10.
You've actually left them more time.
Yeah, 3rd and 10. And you got to be in a position where that Niles North can get up. If they don't make it, if they throw an incomplete pass, you got some quality time, and Niles North does have a timeout left. So what do?
You run it up the gut here, Coach, and you make the Vikings use that timeout.
We shall see.
Looks like Evanston's
running. They're doing a Wildcat. No? Is that?
Running a play they haven't run tonight as one of the players doesn't know where he should be. Here's the snap, and we've got a flag. The last few minutes of this half
have dragged.
Have really taken some time.
Yeah.
We've got another flag on the field as it's been a laundry-filled last 5 minutes. Let's see what the call is.
Play a game.
Evanston will be marched back 5 yards. Make it third and 15 now.
Mistakes in the playoffs, Chris. You can't. This is, if you're preparing for the playoffs, you can't have 12 men on the field.
Again,
defense.
Coach, it just felt like they got a little greedy there. Just run the ball a couple times, get into half with the lead. Here's the snap, 3rd and 15, Dawkins. Here's another flag. And that's incomplete, and Evanston's going to get called for a holding penalty.
Incomplete pass. Number 5, Drew Dawkins intended for number 4, Malik Ross, because a flag on the
And again, this will back up Evanston, which means the Vikings will have good field position with maybe 30 to 40 seconds remaining in the half.
Holding. Now, do you decline it? You got to, if you're Niles North, you better decline it. Decline the penalty.
4th and long for the Wildcats.
Indeed, here comes the punting unit.
You got 44 seconds. Niles North has got 1 timeout left. And again,
Evanston
as I said before,
took 13 seconds off the clock there.
Yep.
And
I get it.
Are going to get the ball back.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. I think I know what
you just get greedy there, Coach.
Faith in their offense. Yeah.
Here's the punting unit for the kids, and the Vikings looking for a big play. Here's the snap, and it's a decent kick. Fielded at about the 34.
Oh, that's a flag, and
out across the 50-yard line, and the Vikings down to the Evanston 44, and now you got a late hit. That's going to take the Vikings down almost to the red zone, Coach.
This side official, I understand.
That was a flag, Coach. He was out of bounds.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Sorry to hit you on the shoulder.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. The gunner on the punt was pushed in the back, though. That's what I was looking at, right in front of this side judge. So.
First down for the Vikings on the Wildcats 28-yard line.
Got our special guest at the halftime. The girls basketball team's coming up. We're going to do a little interview with some of our girls basketball players. Nice bunch of young ladies. Chris, you do the games during the year, right, for girls basketball?
Indeed, Coach. 32 seconds to play. Look at that bunch formation, and here's the screen. Oh, and it's picked off. Oh, and Evanston. a golden opportunity. That might have been 6 the other way as they tried to run a little bubble screen out to Kanaan, and the ball was tipped up off his hands and right into the hands of Evanston, but it couldn't be grabbed. 28 seconds remaining in the half. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Unbelievable scenes here, Coach.
Yeah, that really could have.
That could have gone either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was open. He might have been able to take it to the house, but the drop set up Evanston for a crucial miss. Jonathan, shotgun. Here's the snap to the air again, and Jonathan looking to run. Nobody though, and up and over, and that's going to be incomplete. 21 seconds now remaining in the half, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Tyson Cole, 3rd.
Just make sure you're disciplined. I'm not surprised if you get a halfback option. Kanaan might get a pitch and look for him to pass. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you're going to see from this team right now. I mean, all bets are off, Chris.
Cheerleaders.
Coach, I'd hand it to Kanaan up the gut and try and get in field goal range.
Yeah.
Although they do have 1 timeout remaining. Here's the snap. Jonathan to the air, and a quick little out pattern can't be controlled, and it hits the ground.
Got to go for it. 17 seconds. No.
It looks like the punting unit's coming on, Coach. Maybe that is the kicking unit. Let's see.
That's a long field goal.
He had a good leg. We've seen him launch them earlier.
Not going to be win-aided, that's for sure. I would be shocked if they.
It is an attempt, and it'll be a 45-yarder if he makes it. With 17 seconds to play in the first half.
Poochie's on me if he hits this one.
I'll hold you to it, Coach. 45-yard kick. Here's the snap. The hold. The kick. It's up, and
he can return it. Yes, he can. Oh.
And the referees, because he fielded it in the end zone, it's a
right.
touchback.
That's what I was going to say, is if he fielded it in play.
That kick neither had the distance nor the accuracy, as he got a little too much of it and kind of hit it a little fat.
Now you got to take a knee, victory formation right now.
No, Coach, you go for the bomb. I'm just kidding. Maybe you run it up the gut. Let's see what they do. 11 seconds remaining in the half.
I would go take a knee. Take a knee.
Why didn't you say that 57 seconds ago, Coach? Here we go, and there's the knee, and we'll go into the half with a 19-point lead. Evanston 28, Niles North 9. Unbelievable scenes here in Evanston as the last few minutes of the first half, man, might have taken about 30 minutes there. Nonetheless, excellent half, senior night, Coach George Memorial Night. Beautiful atmosphere here this evening. And now I'd like to hand you over to Coach Wool and the basketball team.
And a young man with the box for the raffle. Get your tickets ready. There will be 2 winners. Both winners need to go to the ticket booth and see Miss Harbison immediately following the drawing. All right, for our first winner, get your tickets out. The ticket number is 1216. First winner is 1216. And the second winner is ticket number 423. If you have ticket number 423, you are our second winner. Again, both ticket holders, please make your way to
all right,
the ticket booth.
We're here at halftime with the Evanston girls basketball team. With me here is senior returning starter Tamia Banks.
Hi.
And alongside of her is Nadia McKee, Amaya Johnson. Who's that back over there? Najee, Tyler, Cyan, and Ari. So, ladies, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Coming back, being returning as far as the being conference champs, what do you expect from this year's team?
We expect a lot of leadership, hard-working players, commitment. We're ready for this season.
Okay. Anything that we should be looking out for in regards to style of play? We got a lot of young players back here. You're one of the veterans. You're a senior along with Nadia here. What are you looking for when as far as the upcoming season? What should fans expect from these lady kids?
You guys should just expect to be ready. Be ready for everything that's coming.
Okay.
Because we're ready.
Sounds good. You want to hand the microphone over to Nadia? Okay. All right, so Nadia, quick question. First game's coming up. We play at Schaumburg.
Yes.
This team has a lot of players coming back. What are we looking for in regards to Nadia McKee this year?
I think you guys will be looking for rebounding the most and athleticism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, Coach Roseman's voice carries all the way over here. Anything else in regards to, and Coach Johnson's been, this is her second year, and you guys, what kinds of things have you been doing in the preseason?
We've been working out 6 a.m. in the morning.
6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
What kinds of workouts have you been doing?
We've been working in a field house, basically a track team, just running, and then we'll get into the gym sometimes to work on ball handling and footwork and stuff.
Okay. What is the thing that, if you were to put one word on this season for this team to do, what would it be? What's the one word that you would say?
Accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. All right. Do we want to have any other seniors or all right. Cyan. Okay. Hello, Cyan.
Hello.
So how has things been going in the preseason stuff? You guys did a lot of things in the preseason. How did you feel this summer? What did you guys do over the summer in regards to team camps or anything like that? What did you guys do to prepare yourself for this upcoming season?
We went to DePaul and Marquette. We did camps there over the summer, and then we played in the Loyola tournament.
Okay.
So I think, like, overall, we did pretty good this summer. Like, there's definitely things that, like, from playing with everybody that we know that we have to work on in order to be, like, very prepared for the season in order to go undefeated. But, like, overall, I think we had a pretty good summer.
Good. That's awesome. Well, we are really looking forward to this upcoming season. I hear you got an assistant coach who's a pretty nice guy and he's got a pretty good jump shot.
Yeah.
So, guys, if we have one thing that you say, like, wow, this is what Evanston girls basketball is, what would you fill in that statement with?
I think I would say, like, hardworking.
Okay.
Like, even when we're not doing our best, like, everyone still tries to give, like, 100%. And if they can't give 100%, they give as close as to it as they can. And, like, nobody goes, like, 50% at all. Like, I don't feel like we don't do that.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming up. You guys are awesome. Not only are you great basketball players, all right, you're great students, right?
Yes.
And great people. So love to have you guys, and we're going to see you guys, more of you guys in the season. Coach May over here is going to be doing your games too, right, Chris? All right, and then we got Tyler and Najee in the back here. So thanks, guys. Good luck, and we're looking for big things. Conference champs, right, and going downstate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for coming up, guys.
Thanks so much.
I took one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my destiny. With my arms open wide, I threw away my pride. I'll sacrifice for you, dedicate my life to you. Go where you lead, always there in time of need. When I lose my will, you'll be there to push me up the hill. There's no looking back for us. We got love, run up, that's enough. You're all I need to get by. And inspire you a little higher. I know you can make a man out of a soul that didn't have a soul. 'Cause we got the right foundation, and you got love and determination. You're all I want to try for. Just a little more. You're all the joys under the sun right up in the window. You're all I need. You're all I need. You're all I need to get by.
Ladies and gentlemen, your own ETHS Rocket Marching Band. Tonight, we honor our seniors for their hard work and dedication to our program. Congratulations, seniors, and thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the ETHS Marching Band is directed by Mr. Matthew Bufus and assisted by Ms. Haley Nickel. Visual coordinator Lorenzo Madrano. Percussion instructor Dave Eisenreich. Color guard instructor James Canwisher, Gene Weiss, and Lorenzo Madrano. And drill designer Mitch Rogers. The band is led by drum majors Joseph Weiser, David Jasper Davidoff, Audrey Dinchess, and Grady Miller. Now, ladies and gentlemen, turn your attention to the 50-yard line and welcome our Varsity Pumpkins!
Nothing about the 80s. Get your front of the line, I tell you, ever like a gravy. When you really war, never stuck in God to save me. Running on that Sasquatch, also known as crazy, also known as fat. But we got them gas, we won't come on slack. And these fatty slacks, I be speaking fast. Bills on me blue, blue, better get, blue streaks. Bills on me blue, better get, blue streaks. Bills on me blue, blue streaks. Bills on me blue, better get, blue streaks. Whoa, I don't want friends, I want Audis. She gon' chill on my week. I check this shit like I'm Audi. Sorry if I don't say sorry. Mi música no discrimina a nadie, así que vamos a romper. Toda mi gente se mueve. Mi música los tiene fuerte bailando y se baila así. Okay, I'm ready. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe out. Shake it, let it beat up. Go fast, slow down. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe out. It's about no shit. They want me, they know. They wet, I need out of it. Tattoos on the back, I stay out of that. Yeah, I already got them around, I just wanna get out of that. Bend it over, touch it over. They been back, short over, back over. Slang it out, let it go, homie. You walk it out down, shout you can eat it.
Give it up for Varsity Pumpkins! And ladies and gentlemen, give a special thank you to Miss Erica Cruz, who has led our Pumpkins for the last 5 years. We're going to be moving on to other things, but we want to thank her for her service here at Evanston Township High School. Fans, show Miss Erica Cruz some love.
All right, welcome back. We got Ray Krishnicki. Am I saying that right? Prichnicki back at the start of the second half. We're winding down. Kits are up 28-9. Ray is a former grad of Buffalo Grove High School.
Correct.
And played football at Iowa State, and Iowa State had a big win about 2 weeks ago, right? Over the
2 weeks ago.
Oklahoma, the Boomer Sooners, right?
On the road.
On the road, and they had a backup quarterback. We were just talking about it.
Yeah, it's a guy who was a walk-on, first collegiate start, fifth-year senior.
Right, and you were telling me he originally was from Oregon and moved to Ohio.
That's right. So he went to Oregon State for a couple years. Didn't play. Went to community college. Didn't play, so he had a relationship with the head coach of Iowa State, who's from Ohio, Matt Campbell, and walked on. And I think prior to that game, his career stats were 4 of 6 for 35 yards.
And he played an amazing game from what I saw in the highlights. What a great game. And then I know you're a big Bears fan too. As a former high school standout at Buffalo Grove, and you come back and you watch football at the high school level, has things changed? Have you seen the game evolve, or has things kind of taken a step back? What do you think?
No, things have definitely changed. Kids are bigger, faster, stronger. I was on a really good high school team. We went 8-1 regular season, lost to Mount Carmel in the first game of the season, and then made it to, at that time, 6A was the biggest class. So went to the 6A semifinals down in East St. Louis and lost. And we had our biggest O-lineman. We were considered to have a big O-line, and our biggest O-lineman was maybe 245 pounds.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible.
Starting center was 180 pounds. Guards were around 200 pounds. The other tackle was maybe 220. Biggest down lineman was maybe 240 pounds. And again, those guys back then were considered big.
And East St. Louis, back in the day, when you and I were playing, was the powerhouse back then. They ran off a number of state championships.
Yeah, I think our year they was maybe their second in a row.
Right.
And then they won a third one our next year. And then I think Buffalo Grove. That's when Buffalo Grove finally got them.
Nice. All right, we're back. Chris is going to be our play-by-play, and you can help me out with the color.
Sounds good.
Start of the second half here, 28-9 in favor of the Wild Kits. Here's the kickoff, fielded, and that'll go up into the end zone, and the Vikings will start at the 20-yard line. All right, here you are again, though. You're up here talking about New Trier football and Iowa State football. Are you going to start recruiting for Iowa State for some of our guys here?
I'd love to.
Let's hook it up, man.
I'd love to. I think Illinois, I think Chicago area football generally is underrated. When you talk about the areas of the country.
I agree.
Very underrated.
I agree. At least he had one good thing going. Buffalo Grove had the same colors as us.
That's right.
You got to love the orange and blue.
That's right.
And Illinois, too, orange and blue.
First down for the Vikings. And they're going to hand it off to Kanan again, who's had success in the first half and good for another 5 yards.
He's a tough runner.
Downhill runner. And I think Chris mentioned it earlier, man, you got to give him the ball in large quantity, the way he's been running tonight.
Yep.
Second and 5 for the Vikings on their own 25-yard line. Opening drive of the second half. Jonathan gets the snap. And Kanan was stood up behind the line of scrimmage, but actually managed to get a couple.
It's hard to take him down on the initial hit. He's always spinning and driving his feet there. As a linebacker, playing at the high school level, what would you do if you were playing against a big-time runner like that?
You just got to square him up. Don't look at the shiftiness. Focus on the hips. Can't tackle him high either.
Or you got to gang tackle him like that.
Correct.
And another gain of maybe 1 or 2, and that'll bring up 4th down. And here comes the punting unit for the Vikings.
Wind's picking up here, Chris.
Starting to feel like autumn a little bit, Coach, as we were fooled today thinking that summer was still around October 20th. Here's the snap.
Ooh.
Oh, and Evanston has pressure.
Oh, wow.
And the
nice
punter
place.
does really well to get outside. He's sort of...
Oh,
oh, that's a fumble. Oh, and they're going to pick it up. That's a touchdown for the Vikings on a horrible play by our special teams. Unbelievable scenes. An opening touchdown for the Vikings on a botched punt.
Wow.
Unbelievable scenes. Again, let's look at the replay. The snap, the rush was on and he had to roll left. It looked like he wanted to run it, but instead he punted it, and it fooled Evanston as he was rolling towards the ball. It touched him on the knee, and the Vikings picked it up and go 25 yards for a special teams touchdown.
That's the second time tonight on a special teams play that Evanston should have really let the ball bounce out of bounds.
Got to get away from that
Again,
ball.
Coach, Dara, I hate to keep using this word greedy. Why is Evanston even near that ball? There's no reason to field it. You're up by 19. Just let it go out. Get the offense out there. Play some football. Instead, the Vikings just scored. It looks like the officials are talking it over. Maybe they cannot advance a muffed punt, Coach, and that would be my thinking. It might be Viking possession at the 25.
Yep, I think you're right, Chris.
As that's the rules, is you cannot advance a muff, and that's what's going to be the call here, as the Vikings will take over on Evanston's 25.
Not a smart play again by the punt returner. Should have got out of the way of the pass, but you know, again, it's just as if you on the replay, it looked like they were going to block the punt, and a very crafty play by the punter. He saw that the block was, you know, he was going to get his punt blocked. He shifted it and ran out of the pocket, and then just kind of pooch punted it.
He looked like he almost could have even ran for a first down.
Yes, yes, but there, I mean, it looked like again, Evanston had it well covered, and they should have. Yeah, I mean, I think they're planning to work on a fake. Oh, nice.
Gannon has stood up, and that'll be a loss of 2, as Evanston read that all the way and broke through those A-gaps.
Nice hit. Yeah, special teams tonight have not been really good. Other than that punt that was fake punt that was returned for a touchdown early on, everything else has been, you know, almost like scrambled eggs out there.
No reason for Lamore to be even near that ball, though, Coach, to cause the turnover. 4 wide for the Vikings. Jonathan's going to put it in the air, and it's batted at the line of scrimmage.
Nice play. Nice play.
Excellent rush there by number 24, Ola Chapman.
Third and long for the Vikings.
And after the turnover, Evanston's done well to keep the Vikings at bay in a dangerous part of the field.
Well, we mentioned this earlier, and we'll mention it again. You know, we hope that we can bring football to Evanston in November. That's the theme that Buzz said. But you can't make errors like this in playoff football next week.
To the air, Jonathan goes, and well read by the Evanston defense. That's a pickoff by Lamore, who made the mistake on the punt, and he makes up for it here on the interception.
Yep, got it back. He got it back. Good job. Nice play. Just kind of shot in right here. Let's look at the replay. Nice pressure, and again, just came across and made a nice play on that.
He just read it. He stepped in front of the receiver.
First and 10 for the Wildcats on their own 14-yard line. 4 wide. Dawkins is back there. And Nicholson's going to get it. Plenty of daylight. He might take it to the house. Across midfield. Oh, and tripped up down to the 35-yard line, make it the 36.
Sophomore, and again, he is amazing at finding the openings in the holes and just exploding through there.
Evanston goes to the hurry-up offense as they got to wait for the chain gang to get all the way up the field on that 40-plus yard run. Here's the snap. Dawkins to Nicholson again. And that's going to be good for 6 or 7. Down to the Viking 30-yard line.
Nice, again, you got to give the offensive line credit. Dawkins, Marlon Primos, or excuse me, Andrew Primos. You got a lot of big guys up there that are just making some big holes for them.
Approaching 8.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Evanston threatening again. Dawkins. Nicholson untouched to the second level, and that'll be a first down.
Nice job.
Inside the 25-yard line.
Again, offensive line doing a great job.
Just keep feeding them the ball.
Izzy Loban, again, doing a nice job.
Evanston driving again, 1st and 10. Up the gut, and that's good for some positive yards. As Powell took some blows on that, but pushed the ball up another 8 yards.
Number 8, Roy Dawkins. 8-yard gain. The 2nd and 2 for Wildcats.
Got Franz Kalik's head soccer coach up here. We're going to get a quick interview with him in a minute. Got a big game tomorrow, Chris.
Indeed, Coach. I invited him up here to have a little chat. Up the middle again for the Wildcats. Down to the 10-yard line is Nicholson. And another first down. That'll be 1st and goal from the 10.
One of the strengths this year, as we've talked about it numerous times, has been this offensive line for Evanston. They've done a nice job of creating a number of holes for the running backs. And last season, you had 2 or 3 of these guys that are back from last year's team.
Here's Evanston. Nicholson gets the call again. And he does. Oh, and the ball came out, but it looks like Evanston got it back. As Nicholson got about 5 yards, but with the fumble, that'll only make it a gain of 1.
Now remember last year, Chris, there was the running back for Evanston was Ben Easington. And Easington right now is a walk-on at USC. And Easington, if I recollect, had the largest or the most yards in one game, I think, in Evanston history. I think he ran for over 250 yards. He broke the school record.
Incredible. 2nd and goal to the air. He's got him wide open. Nice touchdown pass through the air. Beautiful pass by Dawkins as he picked out Roman Hunt on a nice little in pattern there and easily scored 6.
Nice play. Just a fake handoff, play action play, and then a slant route right into there and just beautifully executed.
Nice pass.
Here's the extra point. The snap, the hold, the kick is good. 35-9, and that looks like more of the score we thought we'd see in the first half. With 6 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in the third quarter, our Wildcats have a 26-point lead.
All right,
I'd really like to welcome Coach Kalik's here as he's joined us up here in the booth. as he has a huge playoff game tomorrow afternoon at this same site right in front of us. How you doing, Coach? Beautiful to have you up here.
I'm doing great. Thanks for the invite up here.
Coach, you know you're always welcome up here. You can come up here anytime you like, my friend.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. It's
Who
a
do,
good
who,
game.
who do you have with you here? You got somebody breaking it down behind you here.
My left-hand girl, Camille. I always bring her to the games. We enjoy supporting the Wild Kids.
Absolutely. Saw the team walk on the field there. If you beat Loyola, or when you beat Loyola, where's the sectionals going to be?
Well, one game at a time, but sectionals is at New Trier.
Okay, oh, good.
Yeah,
Right.
Coach, I was going to ask him about the game tomorrow before we get past tomorrow's game.
It's called having confidence in your friend over here.
I appreciate that.
Even though I sometimes I'm second choice at lunch.
One time. That was one time I got kidnapped.
Wow, listen to all this, some deep-rooted things here.
Deep.
Coach,
Go
tell
way
us
back.
about Loyola tomorrow. What are going to be some mountains that you got to climb?
They're a pretty skillful team. They're young, so I think we get on them early, hopefully. But they got some nice little players, individual skill. Probably their attacking midfielder is one of the better dribblers I've seen all year.
Okay.
Quick.
And this is the midfield as a whole, or one particular midfielder?
Midfielders aren't bad, but this kid is good. Number 27 is a good player, so we got to keep an eye out on him.
Are you going to have somebody marking him all game, or do we not want to reveal these things tonight?
Oh, man, you know,
I'm
he's
sure
a
that
good player.
Loyola staff is listening to this broadcast.
Oh, yeah, because I've heard people around the world listen to this broadcast.
Thousands of viewers.
Thousands.
You should see the fan mail we get.
Oh, I could
Chris and I need to have a shovel.
I saw that pile, whatever that pile was.
But I think it's BS, man.
It's a big pile of something.
We won't know. We won't mention what it is.
Coach, let me ask you about your team. I saw you earlier in the year. You had Rosengarten started. He started basically every game for you.
Oh, yeah, he's a
but
starter.
You brought Abraham in for some penalty kicks.
Well, that's what we did last year.
Okay.
We, Gavin is our starter. He's proven that for 2 years. He's been doing great. Raman last year had a great run with the sophomore team, and he actually helped them win the sophomore conference championship through PKs.
Awesome.
So we took a look at him, and he was solid back there. So it's
Coach, he's played great.
It's good to have a bunch of different options.
How's my guy? One of my all-time favorite players on your team is Miggy. How's my guy Miggy doing?
Man, I tell you, this year I saw Miggy in a Dubuque, Iowa tournament. The worst I've ever seen him play. And we told him, we're like, man, Miggy, we don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But since he's been back, he's been on fire.
Good.
Been watching our game tapes, his goals, his assists. He's a quality, top-class
Camille
player.
just gave me the thumbs up behind you.
Thumbs up. Number 10.
You like Miggy, Camille?
Jimenez has had some world-class goals this year.
Oh, my gosh.
As we've seen him hit upper 90 in that little cobweb corner.
My goodness.
Oh, my. Some distance boomers, Coach.
And they're not flukes. That's what we've been waiting for those, and they're getting around coming playoff time. So it's perfect.
No fluke indeed. That's his game, Coach. And other teams know he's trying to get it to that right boot.
Yes,
he's going to shoot it from 30 yards out and make a difference.
But the thing is, he's not like many other players. He'll still hit a left-footed shot from about 25 yards out. You know,
There
they're
you
going to
go.
overcompensate on the right. He cuts it to his left, and he's just
got
as deadly.
anybody looking at him?
Nothing big, but I don't even know if these guys really want to play at the next level.
Right.
They put so much into it, and they've been playing for so long. A lot of these guys just get burned out, and I don't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, got all this, club and travel sports and all that kind of stuff. So it does burn people out. That's for sure.
Niles North had a possession there. We're unable to do it, and they've punted it back to the Wild Kits. And Evanston's got a first down on their own 45-yard line. 4:27 remaining in the third quarter, and it's all Wild Kits now at 35-9. We're here with Coach Kaliks up in the booth, who's got a huge playoff game, regional final here today.
Right.
Tomorrow afternoon against Loyola.
Trying to get some inspiration here from the kids.
Big run across midfield. Excellent play by the Wild Kits again, and that's Powell for a big chunk of yards.
Now, Coach Kaliks, I'm looking at the quarterback over here, Dawkins. He's got bright orange shoes. Did you ever wear any kind of funky shoes when you were out on the soccer field?
Man, back then they only had black shoes. That's it.
That's
Let me
old
get
school.
this one in real black or a little black.
Hey, Coach, if you want to be really cool, you call soccer cleats boots.
Oh,
what color boots did you have, Coach?
He's American. These Yankees.
No, I'm not. We're not saying that.
He's an indoor sportsman.
He's still mad about the lunch, Coach. I mean,
right. I'm harboring angst on that one.
Where were you guys supposed to go to Kaufman's, or what was the deal?
We ain't even gonna get
That's
into
our spot.
Yeah, we ain't.
That is our spot.
That is our spot, though.
That's a commercial.
Yes.
Without even
plugging.
on their page.
Come on, we should have sandwiches next week.
Something at
I'm
least.
telling you, right.
Kaufman's, if you're
I'll
listening.
even have half. I can't even hold
an
it.
egg salad.
$7 for a pickle.
Dr. Brown soda. $7 for a pickle.
You see the size of those pickles, though.
Right, they are big pickles.
Wonderful scenes up in the Hero booth. Pleasure to be with Coach Wool and Coach Kaliks. It's an honor to be with you tonight.
Oh, it's great being here.
So, Camille,
what a night for football, though, right?
Indeed, Coach.
Man.
Perfect evening.
It is nice. 65 degrees right now. Camille, are you a basketball player? What? She just said no.
In the winter.
That's why you're a basketball player.
Basketball player or soccer? Will you play soccer? Both. Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's good. 3-sport athlete.
And what? And dance.
And dance. Okay.
Definitely dance.
I got your older sister in my study hall.
Yeah, God has him
Debbie.
for class.
That's a keeper by Dawkins, and another first down for the Wildcats, down to about the 20-yard line of the Vikings.
Anyways, it's
Coach, can you tell us your formation for tomorrow? What are you starting?
Ooh, because I know there's a lot of listeners. I don't want to give anything away.
Fair enough. You going to put one up top or two up top, Coach?
We're going to start. We're going to see what they have first.
Okay.
We'll be very, we'll take our time.
All right.
We're going to take our time.
You do just that, Coach. I love it.
I mean?
I love it.
Feel them out a little bit, see
Yeah.
how we can handle the number 27, you know, and then, you know, kind of like the prospect game. We didn't know what they had. It was a windy first half.
The prospect came out pretty good in that first half.
They came out well with
Yeah.
the wind behind them. They had nothing to lose. They had to go for it. They asked for the win the first half, so they had to get on.
What's the seed? What was their seed?
14.
And
14.
what seed are you guys?
We're 3.
And then New Trier's 1?
New Trier's 2.
And who's 1?
GBN.
Oh, wow. You beat GBN this year, didn't
No,
you?
we didn't play them. GBN beat New Trier in the regular season.
Okay.
And then they lost to them in the crossover final.
Oh, wow. So you guys have the crossover final, huh?
Yeah. First place first, second place second. We played
Dawkins to the end zone and just over Hunt's head, and we're going to have a flag.
Look out. That's something's going on, the extracurricular stuff. The question I have is he had a guy wide open on that right side. I don't think he saw him. Penalty on a penalty flag.
How much do we miss? What's our receiver's name?
Axelrod.
Axelrod.
Yeah. We were just talking about that. We didn't notice him early on in the early formations. I hope he's not out for the season. He's wearing the pink hat. Chris noticed him on the sideline. He's in street clothes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, no, I think he's their best.
Coach, you got any superstitions? You got any pregame rituals, night before the game type of things that you do?
No, I sleep great before the night. Night before game.
No nervous energy or anything?
No nerves, no nothing, man.
Awesome.
I used to, but I think we're well prepared, you know.
Beautiful.
When the sleepless nights are after the game. Win or lose, then you have all those thoughts like, oh, this is what we should have done.
This, could have done that, yeah.
Yeah, but the night before, we're good. We're good.
Well, so awesome to have you here, Coach. Thanks for coming up for a little bit.
Touchdown.
Oh, he's still going.
Yeah.
I thought he was going straight to Pittner.
Nice
Out of the back of the end zone, Foreman paying dirt on that. And that'll get Evanston up to 41 points. It's been all Wildcats in this second half.
Let's get this clock running.
Again, thank you for joining us, Coach. I know you got to get home and get your pregame rest
Straight to
and
bed.
Get everything together. But good luck tomorrow to you and all your guys. I love your team. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll see.
All right,
We'll see.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you guys. Thanks for the invite.
Love you, Coach.
No good. 229, 6, 41, Vikings, 9. family insurance.
And we'll talk about what happened at lunch.
And with 2:29 remaining in the third quarter, again, it's been all Wildcats. They can't convert on the extra point, and it's 41-9.
That was a beautiful middle screen.
Yes. Nice cutback. Always good having Coach Kalik up here, right? With his daughter Camille.
American Family Insurance.
Deep kick here. Everything all right? You're good? Okay.
And the Vikings to take over from their own 29-yard line.
Still plenty of time in this game for a comeback. The Vikings just need a baker's dozen worth of miracles, and it would all come together for them here, Coach.
Yeah, I don't know if that's even possible at this point.
Coach, I was making a silly joke. 41-9, 2:20 remaining in the third quarter. All Wildcats here.
This is like the Cubs game last night.
Yeah, oh boy, let's not go through that. Any news on that Yankee game?
Here's the pitch. Kanan. And he got an edge. Whoa, and he almost broke it free, but instead he's tackled after about a gain of 6.
I wonder if Kanan, is he a senior, Chris?
I think so.
Yeah.
3-zip Yankees. I'm sorry, Astros, bottom 7.
Oh, wow. Goes to game 7. That's going to be trouble.
Be a good game.
Verlander's on the mound tonight, huh?
I think that's correct.
On to the Bears, guys. Baseball season's over. Here's the pitch, and
nice
he's
play.
Stopped for a huge loss.
Nice play. Nice play.
And back to the original line of scrimmage backwards, and that'll set up a 3rd and 10. Make it a 3rd and 12. Looks like there's a really rad hoopty over here behind the stadium.
I was just pointing that out to you.
Some cool lights.
Yeah, north end zone. Looks like the Christmas has come early. Wow.
That's a motorcycle,
yeah,
Coach.
Wow. Very bright motorcycle. Lots of lights.
3rd and 12 for the visitors as we're under a minute to play in the third.
Oh, that's motion.
False start.
Yeah, false start. Want to finish strong, you know, and the question comes in, fourth quarter, you're up 32 points. Do you put in your reserves?
I think there's some reserves in right now on defense.
Yeah, yep, you're right. A couple, they've got a few, not many.
Like some of the D linemen, at least.
Yeah.
It looks like they're warming up the backup quarterback on the sidelines, guys. So Dawkins might be done for the night as number 12 is taking reps.
Yeah, I would say you don't want to get anybody hurt, but on the flip side, you don't want to have a
45-minute fourth quarter.
Right. That is, you read my mind, Chris.
And we've got a timeout on the field as the third quarter was approaching completion. 19 seconds remaining. Our score here from Memorial Stadium, Evanston Township 41, Niles North 9.
Yeah, the Yeah, it's 9:45, and we want to make it out of here before 10:30. That's the key. What was that one game? Was it early in the season, Chris? The fourth quarter lasted almost an hour. What game was that? Was that Palatine?
I don't remember, Coach, but it was the first or second game of the season. And
yeah, I mean, it
was a game that we dominated. It just the last quarter took quite a long time.
Yeah, it was a long, long time.
4 wide for the Vikings. Man in motion. Jonathan looking to pass. Rolling left.
Got a man.
And almost picked off and almost completed, but in the end it just sort of looked a little sloppy, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the D-back mistimed that jump right there, and it looked like he could have had an interception, and he jumped before the pass even got there.
4th and 17, despite what the scoreboard says here, for the Vikings.
They score here, and you got a running clock. 35 points is the
42, Coach.
Is it 42 now?
It's 42.
I didn't know that. I changed that. 30 it used to be 35. Why?
Here's the snap, the punt, and it's got some decent hang time, but not very deep across midfield, and there's the fair catch.
Fair catch, number 6, Jerome
Lamore plays that punt perfectly.
Yep.
And that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter here. All Wildcats from Evanston. 41-9 is our score. And the Wildcats surely in position now to secure a playoff spot.
Nice job again. 5 of the last 6 years have been playoff bound. And again, a huge turnaround for the program. If you remember, before Buzz got here, I think the Kits only made the playoffs 1 time out of the last 7 or 8 seasons.
So we got 2 new winners for a pair of Blackhawk tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners are, you got your tickets. Winner number 1 is ticket number 890. Ticket number 890. And the other ticket winner is number 921. Ticket number 921. Please report to the ticket booth immediately.
Boy, Powell is just
carried by number 22, Cameron Powell.
Powell good for 8 yards there as Evanston starts the drive here in the 4th quarter.
Christopher Harris, be a gain of 8, and be 2nd and 2 for the Rockets.
So let me ask you guys a question. How do you like the new playoff format, ranking the teams 1 to 32 and having one play 32 as opposed to the regional thing that they used to do up until a year or 2 ago?
Wow, yeah, that's a great question. I think that's the best thing to do. The only issue is travel for teams that don't have that, the funding, whatever it is that is necessary. I mean, but I think it's the fairest way.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, fairest way. That's why I mean, last time you would have Loyola and Maine South facing off, you know,
in a semifinal.
Yeah. Which was not fair. I wonder where the Kits will be seeded out of the 32 teams. That'll be interesting.
Here are the Wildcats.
Nice
and
cutback.
Bouncing off tacklers.
He's got time. He's got some space.
And a 20-yard gain for the Wildcats on another excellent run by Cameron Powell. Cameron Powell doing his best Nicholson impersonation there as he's bouncing off tacklers and taking it wide into the Vikings territory down to their 34-yard line.
It's kind of the thunder to Nicholson's lightning.
Yeah, absolutely. Good call.
The snap. Powell across the line of scrimmage, maybe got 3.
We're starting to replace some of the offensive linemen now. Primos is coming out. Nice job by the offensive line tonight, creating some very nice holes. And they did what they had to do, Chris and Ray. They just had, this is the game that you had to come out and make a statement. They got on them really early in the game, and now they're just trying to just ride it out, knock off time off the clock, and now they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, leave no doubt, get that guaranteed spot.
Yep.
Tarpey, the quarterback for the Kids, and
nice.
And the drop, the calfback dive is stood up as Ray Ridge is hammered there, and that'll be a loss of a few.
Yeah, Ridge didn't see that coming. Pimento with the tackle there. He was right, shot the gap. This is again the danger. Again, you got your reserves in, and this is you just don't want anybody getting hurt.
Tarpey getting the play, and he jogs it in. The play clock hasn't started. There it goes. 3rd and 11 for the Kids on the Viking 35-yard line. 9 minutes remaining in the game. Evanston 41, Niles North 9. Here's the snap. Tarpey with a nice tight spiral, but just not accurate enough. A little fade route.
Kind of question passing the ball in this situation.
Yeah.
Indeed, Coach.
Yeah, that's a good point. We want to keep the clock running. I think, Chris, you mentioned that earlier on at the end of the second quarter. Kids almost got themselves in a pickle there.
Again, just a little too greedy, Coach. You're up by 19. No reason to try and take it down there with less than a minute to go. You set up the other team to actually score, and if they hadn't have gotten that penalty inside the 5, they might have punched it in there.
Yep, good point.
Still, that still has them down by 25, but nonetheless, you want to play smart football because you can't make those mistakes against quality sides.
Yes, and that's the big thing, is you want to make sure that you're coming in sharp when the playoffs start. Here's
Tarpey up over the top. Oh, and that should have been completed. Unbelievable. Hillman was there, and while it was sort of back-shouldered him and he had to turn around, Hillman had it in his hands.
Yeah, you know, interestingly enough, on this route, a couple of the routes that the receivers have run, they've stopped short. And if you watch on the bottom of your screen here, Tarpey throws it. Nice throw, very tight spiral. And it just, I'm not, you know, the early on you had a Hunt who stopped running on that post pattern. And this one, it looked like he could have come back and get it. Just reading the play. Tough pass, yeah.
Should have been made, though.
Yeah.
Jonathan, he's going to pitch it, and Evanston's all over that play, and it only got a
fumble. He got it. Stripped him. Nice job.
And it stayed in bounds, and that's a recovery for the Wildcats. A turnover here for Evanston.
Yeah, number 9 from Niles North is running. If you notice, watch him how he's carrying the football here. Ray, do you ever tell your running back to run it? Look at how he's holding the ball out there and just, yeah.
Beautiful defensive play by the Wildcats.
You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, just running like it's a loaf of bread in his arm, and that's not the way you do it.
High and tight.
Yep, high and tight. Yes, absolutely. Crowd emptying out. I think they know that this one's in the bucket.
Tarpey takes the high snap, hands it off to number 30, and that's good for maybe 8 or 9 as Miller Smith will get some positive yards for the Wildcats. 8 minutes, 20 seconds to play in this one. Everything all but academic as the Wildcats are winning 41-9, 32-point lead for Evanston.
Chris, we don't have that aliens sparkle at the 20-yard line anymore. They took it out.
You're right about that, Coach. The lizard people must have taken it away. Sorry.
It was a gap zone. Or
there was a portal at the 30-yard line for
yes.
the entire season, but it is gone now.
It's gone. We don't see it. I don't know what happened there.
Coach, we missed our opportunity to travel to another dimension.
The 6th dimension.
And with that said, 7:50 to play in this one. The Wildcats 2nd down and 7.
Ray, you've been to the semifinals in the state. What are the keys to advancing downstate as a football team?
Well, you know, it's not anything that you wouldn't think of.
Oh, and a nice run up the middle by the Wildcats as Ray Ridge getting a huge chunk of yards for Evanston.
You know, you gotta play sound fundamental football, not make mistakes, execute, you know, don't give the other team a chance. So that's why, you know, as you guys are talking and we're talking, you know, the kids are doing really well, but, you know, there's been some sloppiness on the field that, you know, as you were saying, Chris, against a higher quality opponent, you're not going to be able to get away with that.
Right. That's a good point.
Tarpey hands it off to Ridge, and he's going to lose a couple.
You know, the margin of error is just so slim when you get into the playoffs.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, especially for the kids, they'll probably be, you know, kind of middle of the road seed. So, you know, they're not going to have an easy game in their first game.
A high quality opponent the first time. Yep. And again, as we stated before, kids have had a great season. They lost a lot of players from a solid team last year, but they have not. If you look at their schedule, they will not have beaten any playoff teams. All 6 wins coming against teams that will not make the playoffs.
Coach, with that said, they might get a lower seed than we even anticipate.
Ooh. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably be one of the lower 6-3 teams, you know, just above the 5-4s that qualify.
And I'm imagining strength of schedule has got to play a little bit of a role in there. I mean, unfortunately, Evanston will have lost to Maine South, which will be a highly rated seed. They'll be in the top 4. They lost to Palatine, which will be another highly rated seed. And then they lost to New Trier, who I'm imagining probably is not going to be a highly rated seed, but middle of the road. And I think you're looking at Evanston being, you know, as a 6-3 team with no wins against playoff contending teams is going to be at the end of the lower half. So hopefully they can surprise some teams. And again, the draw is the key. Whoever they got early on, if they win, they get their next game is at home, and that will be that's what Buzz is looking for, is football in Evanston in November. That was his crying call.
Yeah, you know, the way they do it is opponents wins. That's how they differentiate the teams with the same record. So, yeah, you know, they'll get some credit for having Maine South in the league and on the schedule, but
you got to win that game, right?
Yeah, you got to win that game.
See, and that to me, it's tough if you're in a tough conference, and we're in a tough conference. I'm nothing against them, but if you're in like the Catholic League and you have a 5-4 record, and your losses have come to
Tarpey to the end zone, touchdown!
Nice job.
Hillman finally made the turn on that, and a wonderful touchdown pass by the Wildcats. Again, throwing the ball here with a large lead. But you're trying to get Tarpey some reps, I guess, as the backup quarterback is in there. And a touchdown for Evanston, and that'll make it 47-9.
Well, it's 4th and long, too. You know, not a long, too, but 4th and long also.
Right. Nice play by Tarpey. Very good pass. You know, and this is your future next year. As a junior, he's going to get some chances to really shine next year. You know, it's obviously learning under a guy like Dawkins has got to be extremely helpful. Dawkins had a tremendous season, by the way. I mean, he's really done a nice job. And hats off to our seniors. They did a really nice job.
It's been a great year, Coach.
Yes.
Dawkins had an 80-yard run last week that was absolutely extraordinary.
Yes. Really has done a nice job. Very well. I think he's run the offense as good as any quarterback that's been here in a while.
4:50 to play in this one. Evanston 48, Niles North 9.
And, you know, you look at the team 2 years ago, Chris, we had 3 major Division I players. You had Naquan Jones, who's at Michigan State. You had
Playing at Michigan State.
Playing at Michigan State right now.
Getting time.
Yes, gaining time. You have Travion Banks, who's playing at Miami of Ohio Mac School. And you had the quarterback,
I know who you're talking about.
yeah, whoops. Western Michigan. What was the guy's name again? Huh? Yeah, we had a quarterback. His name is skipping my mind right now. Matt Little. Matt Little was the quarterback for Western Michigan. And again, Western Michigan's no small potatoes. They were in the Cotton Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, last year against Wisconsin. Look out.
And a reverse off the kickoff, and the kicker is going to have to tackle him near midfield. Last gasp there. If the kicker doesn't make that tackle, he might have taken it to the house. And with that said, the kicker laid a shot on him as he's slow to get up.
Yeah, that was. But to get back to what we were saying earlier, Chris, this team, the expectations weren't out of the, out of the ordinary. I mean, it was just they were expected to do well and solid. But I think, them making the playoffs is really a testament to Coach Buzz and these seniors. These seniors have really put a lot on the line. They have no major Division I team players, and they have the same exact record as that team that had 3 major D1 players.
1st and 10 for the Vikings. Kanaan across midfield for a gain of maybe 4, maybe 5. 4:30 to play in the game. Evanston up by 39 points, 48-9.
2nd and 5 for the Vikings.
2nd and 5 for the Vikings right here on the giant E at midfield. Like to, of course, thank William Jenkins for producing and directing this sports telecast. Let's give a big thanks to Ethan and Gabriel for coming out and providing your images at home here with their excellent camera work.
Yeah, Mr. Jenkins does a top-notch job, as always. Roll Tide, Roll Tide.
Give a shout-out to Kathy Weideman here, of course, always helping as well, contributing to the sports broadcast.
She brings intelligence and beauty, which none of us have right now. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Roll Tide.
3:30 to play in the 4th quarter.
So, sometimes talent can only take you so far. This team has heart, and I think this will be a good test for them in the playoffs.
Kanaan up the gut.
Gang tackle.
To be fair, Coach, if you're scouting this team, they look a little susceptible to big guys running up the gut. You got to think.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I know Palatine, the game we did, they really ran off that right tackle, and they just pounded him. Evanston is going to need, if they're going to make a run in anything, they're going to need to have Axelrod back. That's going to be key. If they're playing in November, Axelrod's got to be on the field.
2nd and 6.
He's a big part of that.
Pitch to Kanaan. Oh, a nice speed burst there as he crossed the line of scrimmage, and that'll be a 1st down.
Boy, that was all him.
Yes.
He had nothing going on there with his blockers. Can I ask you guys a question? When's Evanston's last playoff victory in football? Has it been a while?
That is a great question. I think we were talking about it. I think, man, it's been a long time. 2000, I want to say, maybe. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, it's been quite a while, a long time.
It's been a second.
Yeah, I know John Reel left in 97 or 98. No, that's not right. 98?
Dante Johnson.
I got to find that out. But I know when he left, Tony Johnson took over, and I only think he went to one of his teams only made the playoffs once, and I think they won one game, and then they were knocked out. But in 97, Evanston was the top-ranked team in the state, and they got upset in the game to make it to the Final Four. They had a running back who went to Iowa. Siaka Massaquoi. Yeah, that was good. They were the top-ranked team in the state.
Oh, and there's a fumble on the snap, and that's going to be an Evanston recovery, and another turnover as Jonathan couldn't handle the snap. It was a little too hot for him, and a recovery by Isaac Bambi. Nice play.
Nice job. He just fought for that football and did a nice job. Bambi's got to be happy. He's a reserve. Gets his name on the.
We get to say his name near the end of the game.
Yep.
Bambi with the recovery.
Right.
Gets a tick mark in his stat book too.
Yeah, absolutely. He probably gets a sticker on his helmet.
Trifecta.
1 minute to play in the fourth quarter. And there should just be a couple snaps of the football here.
Victory formation, that's it.
And Evanston will take a knee. And that should do it. Again, final seconds tick away. Our final score here from Evanston. Evanston Township 48, Niles North 9. The Wildcats will qualify for the playoffs here, and we wait until Sunday evening when those fixtures will be laid out. And we'll see what away game they have, and potentially they could have a home game if they wind up victorious from that fixture.
The clock will wind down.
Again, a beautiful evening in Evanston. Thank you for joining us tonight. Coach Wool, any last thoughts before we cut away?
Well, this has been a great season. We hope that it's not the last game that we have here at Evanston, which means that they will have to win their first playoff game. And if they win their first playoff game, that means that the second game will be played here at Evanston. And what we want is, as what Buzz said, is football in November. And really excited about these seniors. They're a really good bunch of kids. I have a couple of them in my class. But it's been an enjoyable and fun season to watch these guys. The expectations weren't very high this year, and I think they're going to come in and hopefully they'll surprise some teams.
Well, awesome to be up here with you, Coach.
Yes.
We had a wonderful season and a beautiful weather here tonight to finish it off. Hopefully we will have a playoff game here in a couple weeks, and maybe we'll sneak up here and record it for our private archive.
Absolutely. And again, as you mentioned earlier, thanks for joining us this year. I know that originally you were behind the scenes, and you've done an awesome job. So appreciate you having here. Ray, thanks for coming up.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being up here, Ray.
Yep.
Good to have Coach Kaliks up here.
Yep.
We also had the girls varsity basketball team. Very eventful night here in Evanston as we close down senior night and Coach George Memorial honoring him. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Christopher May, Coach Wool.
Nice.
William Jenkins, again, Franz Kaliks coaching his team to soccer semifinal here tomorrow. Come to the stadium and support the Wildcats.
Yep.
Thank you again for joining us. Everybody have a safe and beautiful evening. Good night.
Go Kids.